Here I am in the jungles of Goa, and I'm sure I'm looking a lot worse for wear, having been staying in a beach hut for the last 4 or 5 nights and being out in the jungles, snake hunting and stuff. I just saw this huge snake cross the road when I was out on my motor scooter, and I couldn't get off the scooter in time to catch him or even see what it was. The thing was huge, like 4 or 5 feet long. And now I'm out here in the jungles. I just saw a bunch of monkeys. I was trying to catch that on video, but was unable to. But last night, while we were here in the forest, we stumbled across this old building. I was told it was planned to be a 5-star hotel, but they discontinued the construction for whatever reason. Now the jungle has taken it over. And what I wanted to show you about this is that there are a bunch of bats in here. I don't know if we'll be able to pick it up with the video or not. I want to try. I'm sure the lighting's not going to be adequate, but there was thousands of them in here last night. And they made such a racket, it sounded like a rainstorm had started outside. Yeah, the lighting is going to go down and you won't be able to see them. The courtyard of this place, and I did just make it out of the bat cave. I couldn't get any video. I think I've got some still shots I'll try to post along with this to give you a feel for this place. Really odd feeling with the bats and the monkeys and everything else here, and it being abandoned here almost in the middle of the jungle, it feels like. So I'm up on the roof of this abandoned hotel that was never finished, looking out over the canopy of the jungle, and you can see the beach, the ocean there, and how we're actually up in the trees. And I'll tell you why I wanted to do a video up here in just a second after I get the camera set back up. I'm on top of this 5-story building out here in the middle of the jungle in Goa, and it reminds me of the dynamic of character, where we look at a structure of a building as an example. We said there's a 5-story building, and imagine that at the very peak, at the pinnacle, is the organizational goals of whatever particular agency you might be with. If you're a business, at the top, at the pinnacle, we might put profit. If you're some other government organization or service organization, we might put service. If we're law enforcement, we would put peace as the ultimate goal, to bring peace out of disorder. And we know that bringing peace out of disorder depends upon this principle of coactivity, where we build a working partnership with the community in order to tap into the power of that relationship. That's the next floor going down. So we have relationships lead to coactivity, lead to peace, prosperity, profit, whatever. It doesn't matter the organization, coactivity is still the key. But underneath relationships, we know that relationships are fueled by trust. Trust is the essential ingredient in bringing about the power of these relationships, tapping into that power, because we know that the power for effective change does rest within our relationships. And a key ingredient, a key component of this thing that we call trust is integrity. Now, integrity is a tough word to come to grips with. It's a tough word to define. We like to think of ourselves as men and women of integrity, but what does it really mean? In its simplest essence, integrity means being who you represent yourself to be. In other words, if you represent yourself to be one type of person, then I ought to be able to look into your life and see evidence that you are in fact that type of person. Now, if you represent yourself to be one type of person, and I was to look into your life and see evidence that you are in fact some other type of person, well, we have a name to describe you too. We call you a hypocrite. So by this definition, hypocrisy is the exact opposite of what I mean by integrity. And we know that there's 2 components to integrity. There's a character component and there is a competency component. Both are critical to your success. In other words, if you tell me that you're going to do something and you fail to do it, then probably there's one of at least 2 reasons why. Either you had the best of intentions, you fully meant to do whatever it was that you had promised, but you lacked the necessary knowledge, skills, and abilities to get the job done. In that case, it would be a competency issue. But if, on the other hand, you had told me you were going to do something and you really had no intentions of doing it at all, you were just giving me some lip service, or perhaps perhaps that you intended to do it, but there were some unexpected sacrifices that you had to make, and you weren't willing to pay the sacrifice to be a man or woman of your word. And in either of those two cases, we have a character issue. So character and competence are the twin towers of integrity, which form that foundational first floor. Integrity leads to trust, builds relationships, leads to a coactive response, and ultimately leads to success.